And then recording will be available on the website next week if you want to go back and review any of the content shared or pass it along to someone else who maybe wasn't able to attend that could benefit from the information that our presenters are going to share with us today. So if you could all please keep yourself muted until it's time for Q&A, and then at the end of the meeting, if we have enough time, we'll do our 1-minute roundup, and that's the opportunity for all of the attendees to share information about your programs and services that you offer. And then, so I'm going to share my screen. The agenda is also in the chat. Can you see the agenda, everybody? Okay, great. All right, well, thank you for joining us for our November Recovery Network networking meeting. It's hard to believe it's already November. I feel like this year has just definitely been a year for sure. So our presenters today include Kat Stewart from NR, Megan Cawthorn from Indiana Treatment Centers, and then Abby Carpenter from Recovery Cafe Muncie. Their presentations are in the chat. If you want to go and download those, you can. I'll be uploading Megan's here shortly. I'm going to stop sharing for now. And also, before we get started, I did put in the chat a link for a short survey. We are looking to just revise the meeting formats in the new year, kind of revamp them, and we want feedback from everyone who attends the meetings to just let us know what direction would you like us to head in the new year as far as these meetings. What information do you feel like maybe we're not having shared enough? Who should we invite? Just different things like that. So I think it's a short survey. So if you could take the time to complete that, I would greatly appreciate that. That will help us kind of vision what these will look like in the new year, like I said. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kat.
Hi guys, let me share my screen. Can everyone see that?
No, not yet.
Oh gosh. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. My name is Kat Stewart. I am the Recovery Resident Support Manager for the Indiana Affiliation of Recovery Residences. Longest title in the world. So, what NR is we are an affiliate of a national organization. So, I think it's 36 states have affiliates. And so, what they do is provide training, advocacy, support based on a set of standards and best practices for recovery residences. So we support quality recovery houses across Indiana. So our mission is to improve access to quality recovery residences through standard support, education, and advocacy, like I said. We have a statewide network of certified homes that provide safe, supportive, alcohol and drug-free housing for people in recovery. So our affiliate structure is a little bit different in comparison to other states. So we partner with the Division of Mental Health and Addiction on certification. So the state holds certification fees, and NR comes in and provides grievance oversight. We provide training and resources for operators and staff, technical assistance for recovery residences that are trying to gain certification or trying to start recovery residences. And promote those best practices. And then we also collaborate with partners and policymakers to strengthen recovery houses and those best practices. We do have a monthly recovery residence operators call. So it is today at 3. So what it is it's kind of just like a laid back opportunity for operators to come on and share their experience, also different struggles that they may have, and gain feedback from other individuals that are running recovery residences network, share potential referral opportunities, things like that. So it's a really cool group of people. And that's the third Thursday of each month from 3 to 4. We also have monthly webinars that we host, always looking for individuals to partner with that may want to host a webinar. We do offer continuing education units for attendance. Next month is going to be outreach and partnerships advancing recovery housing quality. So I will actually be hosting and running next month's webinar. It's usually the first or second Tuesday from 10 a.m. to noon. And you can follow our Facebook page or Eventbrite to kind of stay up to date on that. We also have a various grant opportunities right now. We have our bed expansion grant that we just announced today. So it's for DMHA certified recovery residences to expand and increase bed capacity. So we had a lot of great recovery residences we partnered with last year. One was able to actually rehab an entire garage and turn it into a carriage house that actually increased 4 additional beds for individuals coming out of their entry-level program. So it's a great opportunity. Jump on those webinars to learn more, and I can guide you through the application process. Our annual summit. So we will be hosting our annual Recovery Residences Summit on March 12th. We will announce ticket sales December 1st. So we'll actually be at 1899 events with a lot of different speakers, networking. Super excited about this. It's actually at the Central State Sanitarium venue. If you guys haven't been there, it's super cool and historic. And we have the Medical History Museum actually coming to partner and bring different artifacts too. So it'll be super cool. Keep an eye out for ticket announcements and sponsorship opportunities December 1st. And so why NR matters. So what we try to do is bridge the gap between treatment and independent living, making sure that treatment centers and recovery residences are set up for success. So we're meeting individuals where they're at and making sure that once they complete treatment, they can continue their recovery. We promote long-term recovery and community reintegration. A lot of our best practices promote those home-like environments and in neighborhoods that are going to continue to support those individuals, which in turn creates safer, healthier communities. And certified homes protect residents' rights, safeties, and recovery environment. Like I said, it's a standard of national best practices to ultimately ensure that the resident is safe and has a voice also and understands that they have rights throughout their recovery. So always looking for opportunities to collaborate, partner, learn more, strengthen NR. I've been in this position for about a year now, so still learning. So if you would like to get involved, my email is on there. Follow us on Facebook, partner with us to expand recovery housing access. And I will put my email in the chat because I will have to leave a little bit early for a site visit today. But always willing to chat, talk, and learn more about your guys' organizations too. And I talk really fast, but that's all I have, Heather.
Thank you, Kat. Did anyone have questions for Kat or comments? All right, so keep an eye out for more information about the summit in the spring. I'm sure that'll be a great event and ways that you all can get connected. And like Kat said, maybe be a part of the webinars and present to the group. I think the services that y'all provide are really important for the recovery residences and certainly for folks who may be transitioning out of the recovery residence space. So, all right. Okay, so next is Megan with Indiana Treatment Centers.
All right. I get my screen on. Okay, can you see the full PowerPoint? And I can't see anybody's faces, so I don't know if you're giving me a head nod or thumbs up or thumbs down.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right. Hello, I am Megan Cawthorn. I'm the Director of Business Development and Community Relations for Indiana Treatment Center for the Columbus location. So I cover the southern half of the state from Marion County south. We are a detox inpatient facility that is in partnership with Ascension Recovery Services. They are the operator organization that helped build ITC along with Nelson Construction and Development. So it's kind of like an investor and a clinician like got together and had a baby, and that's how ITC came into existence. So Ascension is notable for many projects that they've been involved in throughout the nation, including Wise Path in the West Virginia Sober Living, where they started out of West Virginia. They now have Thrive Now Recovery Centers in Iowa. And they were also a part of the development of the recovery ecosystem of what we now see in Columbus, Indiana, where they started with the Columbus Regional Health, building out our outpatient program, which is what we call our treatment and support center task. They also helped build out our sober living homes that was originally through ASAP, our recovery resource hub. Those sober living homes now are absorbed underneath our network as well. So they've been around creating different types of programs and really fully integrating behavioral health within local communities in areas that were under-resourced or underserved, making sure that people have access to care. So that is how Indiana Treatment Center came into existence, is because we had all these other amazing resources in Columbus, but we didn't have that access to detox and inpatient without having to drive several hours or only having one option within our region. So Indiana Treatment Center, we offer the levels 3.7, 3.5 detox and residential for adults with substance use and co-occurring mental health. We also accept women who are pregnant. We also accept couples as well. So, and we'll take a little bit of those higher level mental health needs. We are fully staffed with a psychiatric nurse practitioner, and we also have medical staff around the clock. So we do 24/7 admissions, as well as quick pre-screens and scheduling. We can also help support with 24/7 transportation as well. We really try to look at the individual and the holistic care, so making sure that they have access to not only their medical and medication needs, but also having individual and group therapy. They will have access to a case manager, and then also having that exposure to peer support, and then having outside exposure to where they are allowed to go to outside meetings, pro-social events. So they get that connection to the local recovery community, in addition to the therapy that they receive on within our treatment facility. They will also have a discharge planning process that will start within that first week that they are in our facility to help them arrange for applying for sober living, making sure that they have aftercare services, whether that's inpatient or IOP or partial hospitalization, just whatever that individual feels like they need to step down out of inpatient facility. Our discharge coordinator will help arrange, make sure those are arranged prior to them being released. We are insurance friendly, accepting all of Medicaid plans and most commercial, and we also have private pay options as well. So we're really just looking at that continuity of care from detox all the way to long-term recovery support. I come from the recovery world. I'm a person of long-term recovery myself, so I'm a big advocate of working with my internal team, making sure that we are supporting them and handing them off to those long-term supports as well. In addition to what we offer for our inpatient facility, again, we also have our sober living that we have absorbed. So a great thing about our sober living facility is that someone who are on that medication assisted treatment, a lot of times sober living don't allow that in their residents. So we do have that where that can eliminate that barrier and they can transition into our sober living and continue their medication assisted treatment. So I work really closely with our programs here on a local level to making sure that they have plenty of options to choose from for sober living, whether that's coming into our sober living or connecting them with another sober living home, and just really building that firm foundation in their recovery journey. So we try to make our referral process easy. Our admissions team is very hands-on with our internal staff. So we are in constant communication with them, making sure that we are all collectively screening any potential admissions that's coming through our admissions line together as a whole team. So you'll make the call to our admissions line and then they will go through that screening process. On average, our pre-screening process takes anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. That's where they'll verify their insurance benefits. They will go through any mental health or physical health needs, looking at the substance history, but then also incorporating the approval through our executive director, myself included, our director of nursing, and our clinical supervisor. So we all have our eyes on that screening prior to bringing them into our facility to make sure that, one, we're a good fit and that we can provide that level of care that is needed. If for whatever reason someone doesn't get approved for our treatment program, or we just don't feel like we can provide that level of care, they will coordinate back with me so I can refer them out to make sure that they get connected and we can offer that solution before they're off the phone with our admissions line. Because we want to make sure that they have a solution and not just like, well, sorry, you're not approved here. Good luck calling 1,000 other places. We just want to make sure that we, again, just giving that warm handoff, even if we are referring out as well. And then once they are approved, we'll request for any records that they may need to review to determine to meet that medical and clinical criteria. They'll email it to our admissions team, and then we'll schedule the intake from there. And if needed, we'll then coordinate for transportation. We will utilize staff for transportation, or we also utilize Uber Health as well. So what to expect at intake. So once someone is scheduled for their intake, they will receive a welcome letter, just so they know what to expect and all the arrival details of what to bring, what not to bring. We will confirm what the transportation is being provided. A lot of times with our facility, we will, especially if someone is incarcerated, we will make sure that we'll have a staff member to arrange so they can provide that identification at the time of being picked up from the jail. And then we will get them into our facility. And in that first 72 hours is the adjustment period. So they will go through the adjustment, get them stabilized, get them oriented to the program, connected with the milieu. And then from there, they will, after that 72 hour, they will have access to have an evening phone call through their approved phone list. And then they will also have availability to have family visitations that are held on Sundays. Again, phone lists and visits have to be approved by our leadership team. Because we want to make sure that they still have that connection to their external supports, even while they're in our facility. And then after 10 days, as long as they are on good behavior and they're not on a behavioral contract, they will be approved to attend outside support groups and those pro-social events that we may take them to. And then a personal project of mine, I've been in this role for 2 months, but I've been doing this work for a little over a decade in different capacities, from community-based to peer support. And really making sure that our internal staff understands the work that we do on a outreach level, on building partnerships across the state, and understanding the importance of including our partners in the process with us, beyond just admitting someone into our facility. So we really want to make sure that we're educating our internal staff on what the importance of communication and what those different touch points require in order to build that trust and that collaboration and that ongoing communication from the entry point all the way through the exit. So I developed this referral partner framework, so everyone knows what their roles are to provide that consistent communication with our referral partners, especially when we're thinking about our justice involved population, who have additional requirements beyond our program. We don't want to set them up for failure. We want to make sure that we're providing, especially those positive updates, that they did admit to our program, that they're participating in group. Of course, we have to have that release of information, but we really try to encourage the importance of why we ask for that release of information. It could really help their outside obligations and requirements. And then in addition, if they're already working with a provider, a community provider, like a recovery coach, a therapist, that they're a part of that planning process with me. They're a part of that treatment plan while they're in our facility. And when we're setting up for the discharge planning, that we're including those outside perspectives of what's a good resource in that area if they're returning home outside of Columbus, going to some other location. We really want to incorporate those community partners from that local community, so we can set them up with the best discharge plan, and we're handing them off back into the hands of the community provider that they are working with beyond our team for that 30-day stay. So really just incorporating those touch points of communication throughout the 30-day stay so we can transition them seamlessly into those ongoing services, and transition them into whatever their next steps of recovery looks like for them. And then keeping them engaged with the alumni network. So we have a Sunday evening meeting where alumni can come in-house and participate in the meeting, but also creating a monthly check-in. Sorry, my dog's going crazy now. But creating a monthly check-in virtually where people can hop on, kind of like office hours with myself. And so they get access to additional resources that they may need, if they're coming across any barriers, or they just want to celebrate successes and milestones, right? So they just have that constant checkpoint of where they're at in their recovery journey and how we can continue to support them ongoing. I'm a big believer in connecting them and reinforcing them back to those local community supports, because that's where the magic happens. So if I can help build up the foundation through ITC and then connect them with those ongoing resources, that's something that I find to be very effective. So we really try to make sure that we're engaging through the entire process, from our fast access to quick pre-screenings, making sure that we're treating the whole person, and then continuity of care with those warm handoffs, and really amping up our discharge planning. And I would say about 95% of people who have discharged successfully from our program have had a sober living bed prior to their discharge. So that's a big importance to us. This is my contact information. We're always open to providing a tour. If you have any other questions about our facility, or you just want to connect with me on a personal level and learn how we can collaborate and work with each other, this is my email and personal number. I'm always looking for additional resources. So if for whatever reason, if it's not even true,
Was it just Megan that froze up on us? Okay, I see other people moving too. Okay, I didn't know if it was just me. Megan, I don't know if you can hear us. Oh, looks like she's coming back in the meeting, so she must have accidentally got kicked out.
Yeah, sorry, my laptop just like lost internet connection, but I was at the end of it, so that was good. But I'll put my personal information in the chat box, so you guys, if you didn't have time to write that down. But I'm all about connecting people to resources, even if it's not treatment related as well. You know, you got to share what you have and give it away, right? Does anybody have any questions?
Hi, Megan. This is Diane with PAL, Parents of Addicted Loved Ones. Just a
Hi.
couple. Hi, thank you for your presentation. A couple questions, transportation-wise. So is that mainly in the county where Columbus is for transportation, or does it go outside the county?
We cover the entire state. So
Oh.
we've provided transportation all the way from Elkhart to Columbus. And one thing I forgot to mention, thanks for asking your question, it sparked that. We're open in Columbus right now. This facility has been open since January of 2025. So we're coming up on a year of being open here in Columbus. But we have our Mishawaka location that's opening in January of 2026. And then we also are opening up a Muncie location in the spring, April or May of 2026. So we will have other locations that are available. If Columbus is too much of a distance for somebody, or someone just wants to have that distance, right? They have a choice of location that they can choose from. But yeah, we'll provide transportation statewide.
That's great. Thank you so much. Second question, if someone is already detoxed and now it's a mental health issue, they can go to, can't even talk here, the Indiana Treatment Center, right?
If they have already detoxed,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
They don't have to go through the detox portion of the stay. So when they get assessed, some get assessed to go directly into detox, and then others just go into the residential. So it really just depends on what that clinical need is, will determine which level they go into.
Super. Thanks so much.
You're very welcome.
Does anybody else have any questions for Megan? And all the presentations are in the chat as a PDF. You should be able just to click and download them, as well as the agenda. There's also a link in there for anyone who joined us a little bit later, a feedback survey. It's like 5 questions, 6 questions about our meetings and what you would like to see in the new year, as we're thinking about doing some restructuring. I don't know if, Megan, you mentioned this. I was taking notes while you were presenting. How many beds do you all have? You said you have 2 locations open. So how many beds do you have, if you know offhand? And then do you have openings at the moment at those locations?
Yeah, so as of right now, Columbus is the only one that's open. So we have 54 beds at Columbus. We are staffed for 40 at the moment. So 40 are the only is our max census that we'll accept, which we do have some beds available. We are getting ready to bring in our last batch of hiring, which will open us up to that 54 mark, which 12 of those 54 are reserved for detox beds. And then Mishawaka will be about 54 as well. And then Muncie is going to be 30. We took over the lease that was supposed to be the mental health unit through the Justice Center there in Delaware County. So we've taken that over. So it's a smaller facility. So we're working on making that into more of a treatment base that's, congruent to the programming that we do. But that is a smaller facility there.
Thank you. Thank you. That's really good information. And I think I don't know if ironic's the best word, that I would invite you to present, and then the Recovery Cafe Muncie also. Like, that's just, is that
serendipity?
No.
Yeah, Muncie's representing today. They're coming in strong. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
right, and I apologize. I was taking notes. So I see a couple hands up. I'm going to go with Dominique first and then Jeremy. I don't know who had theirs raised first, but
Okay. So my question is, well, you did touched on the transportation, but I'm all the way in Gary.
Mhm.
So you said all through Indiana. So that's all through Indiana, correct?
It's all through Indiana, yes.
Okay. And then I'm
Yes.
having a situation where I have a lot of homeless moms with their kids. So can you maybe just suggest, or what about their kids or their kids' part, or try to get them help through that? And they're homeless and they don't have all their documentations. Um, so that's what I was thinking about. Like, how do I get them to you guys? Because this is great. This is actually what I kind of need right now.
Yeah, so we would be able to support the mother. And unfortunately, we're not set up to support the mother and children. So that's where I would want to work to help refer that out, especially if they're keeping the mother and the children together, which we do have an amazing program, Volunteers of America, Fresh Start Recovery, who do have that capacity. I don't know about the transportation component with their program specifically. Um, but I'm also happy to coordinate with the directors there and see if something about utilizing Uber Health, how to utilize Uber Health, that can help with that as well. So yeah, give me a call. I'm always willing to like problem solve and come up with creative solutions to get people into the right place that to meet their needs. There's also the Seeds of Hope apartments that just opened up, the Marvetta Grimes. That one's a good one for women and children. Again, I don't know what all the requirements are to qualify for it, but there's definitely resources out there, but I'm happy to share contacts.
yeah, and I think too, Overdose Lifeline has a place for women or mothers with children. And then Dominique, you may want to reach out to Kat, who was our first presenter
Mhm.
with NR, because some of those recovery residences that are part of NR accept women with children too. And
Yeah.
I did email you all three presentations, so the NR one does have Kat's information. So yes. Between Kat, Megan, and anyone else on this meeting that might be able to send you some information or at least their contact information, hopefully you can get those families the help that they are looking for. Okay, Jeremy, you're up.
Awesome. Thank you. So Megan, we were just in Delaware County. I actually started with IRAX in Delaware County,
Okay.
and it's great to see that building finally be completed. It's something that's been talked about for a number of years, and to now be aware of who's going to be operating in that space is awesome. So my first question would be, what does that look like for people transitioning out of incarceration as to barriers that they might incur of placement? And secondly, I just want to say that I feel like I need to connect with you to build a collaboration and cooperation with your organization, because I'm always looking to collaborate with resources on behalf of our participants. So
Yeah.
I could probably dig into the weeds real far, but I'm sure that we don't have time for it in this
Yeah.
meeting at the present.
Yeah, I would love to connect with you. I've worked with Kim through the IRAX program on one referral because we're just trying to test things out. So we really try to adjust our treatment centers to meet the local need and the way that the process is going to look differently from how we do it in Columbus versus how Muncie will do it. So every local, I say we have a operator organization, but our centers really are community based, so Muncie may operate a little bit differently than how we operate in Columbus. So with what your original question with the individual, like we have a paper screening application or we can do over the phone assessment. So like I worked with Kim and we did an over phone assessment for an incarcerated individual. And then from there, we were able to get her released to our program. And we were able to pick her up from the jail and have her come to our facility. I think I had to utilize Uber Health for that particular case, but yeah, we're very pretty effective with working with individuals who are incarcerated, and we have a process, and I take those phones directly through my personal phone rather than the admissions line, just so I don't miss their phone call, because they're a little bit more limited. So you can always send them directly to me, and I'll screen them myself instead of sending them to the admissions team. So just so I can cover all my bases and work directly with the jail or the case managers, who's working directly with them. So, but yes, we'll definitely need to get connected so we can go through all the things Muncie related, and keep you guys informed all the way through the process. And because you guys are going to be the boots on the ground, you guys are probably going to be the main people I work with while there. So.
Well, I'm glad it warms my heart to hear that you've already started developing a relationship with Kim and the Delaware
Yeah.
County team. But we currently have 10 more, and we hope to expand across the state moving forward. And we'd love to be a partner with you. So,
Yep. Connect with me, send me an email, and let's have a conversation.
sounds great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other questions for Megan? All right, and if not, then I don't know, Megan, if you put your contact information in the chat directly, but it is on the presentation that's also in the chat if you want to download that. And all this Muncie talk, I think, is a good segue to our final presenter. So, Abby, you are up.
Hello, everyone. I am just so thankful for the collaboration happening. It's really cool. All right, let me try and figure this out really quick. All right, there we go. Oops. There we go. All right. Can everybody see that? All right, how do I make this? You could think this is my first time. All right. Hello, everyone. This title says Abby Glufna. I recently got married, so my actual name now is Abby Carpenter. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited just to be a part of these conversations. So today we'll be talking about Recovery Cafe Muncie. If you aren't aware, every Recovery Cafe is part of a national model, and that originated in Seattle, Washington in 2003. The network was created in 2016, and now we see roughly 80 cafes nationwide. Fun fact, the majority of cafes are in Indiana. So if there is a cafe near you, you can expect the same model across the board. Everyone's programming might look slightly different, but you can always expect the same model. So starting with that model, one of the things we emphasize is sharing love and receiving love with one another. So we all start with love at our core. The best way I like to think about this is if you take a newborn child, we hope that this child grows up being able to form healthy relationships with others, being able to share those really vulnerable qualities of themselves. But as people go through trauma and just overall adversity, it makes it really difficult. And some of us may be able to relate to that. So a lot of the people that we have that come through our doors have experienced that, whether it is led to substance use, incarceration, abusive relationships, whatever it may be. We are here to provide that safe space where people can kind of navigate all of those experiences and ultimately find. Oh, okay. and ultimately find their recovery. So within the model, we all share these guiding principles, and these are really nice when maybe addressing some behavior in the cafe, but these are always recognized every day that we're open. So although we ask our members to apply these to their peers while they're here, I also really encourage people to apply them to themselves as well. So when we're in recovery, it can be really hard to be respectful to ourselves, to be compassionate, to forgive ourselves for maybe some past choices. Um, but we also want to encourage growth, and that is how we move forward. And then also our biggest piece here is our give back. Within the model, we want to give back to those who have once helped us. And giving back really helps with those positive feelings and confidence and things like that. So that is a big part of our programming in Muncie. So at Recovery Cafe Muncie, how do we define recovery? So we believe that you can be in recovery from absolutely anything, whether that is substance use, mental health, maybe you're unhoused, maybe you were incarcerated, whatever the case may be. I always say, whatever is keeping you from living your best life, let's recover from that. And then we also really encourage people to almost be protective of their recovery journey because it is so personal and it's not going to look the same for each person. So again, we just really want to provide a safe space where people can navigate what's working for them. And with that, we do recognize all pathways of recovery. Again, with that safe space, we allow people to kind of explore which pathway would be best for them. We're not affiliated with any AA or NA, but we do have a 12-step meeting that we provide on Saturdays. So a lot of people are into that. We can make referrals to anyone who is interested in MAT. Same with their therapy, or we do have some people who have kind of tackled the recovery by themselves without any of these extra resources, which kudos to them. But we are always here to connect members with different resources. So part of the model as well is we are membership based. Everything we offer is at no cost to our members, to our volunteers, to our guests. Our only requirements are that our space remains drug and alcohol free, that members participate in their recovery circles, and that they're just contributing to the life of our community. So whether that is, um, you know, leading a class or facilitating an activity or welcoming a new guest into the space, making them feel welcomed. There's a lot of ways to go about that. So these are just our requirements, just to maintain that safety and participation. So some things you can expect from Recovery Cafe Muncie. Again, it may look different at other cafes, but every day that we're open, we will always have hot coffee and a hot meal. We partner with the Muncie Soup Kitchen, and so every weekday that we're open, we always have a hot meal ready to serve, and then Saturdays we will also have a meal available. Social activities, anything to keep the hands and the mind busy. So we have a lot of different crafts available, different games. We love Scrabble in Muncie and Uno. And then a lot of social support. We're really trying to emphasize the peer support. We're very member-led. So those are social activities. Recovery resources. We bring in health navigators on site, whether it is to get someone enrolled in insurance, make a medical appointment. We also have a housing coordinator who can help individuals get connected to different landlords and just different types of housing assistance. And then we also offer free HIV and Hep C testing as well. And then our School for Recovery, that's part of the model. And these are life skills workshops and classes. So from financial literacy to building your credit. We've done cooking classes, how to cook on a budget, and just different things like that. And then, of course, our recovery circles, which is also a part of the model. So our circles are really the heart of what we're doing. The way this will work is if someone becomes a guest of the cafe, they will have 3 guest days to kind of see if this is a good fit for them. And then we will approach them and have a conversation. And if they want to continue coming, then we will ask them to become a member. And that process is attending the cafe on Friday and we will go through a new member introduction. We'll go over the programming with them, different circles, what those look like, our requirements to our members, and things like that. And then we schedule them into a weekly circle. And so they just have to meet with their circle once a week. But with recovery circles comes accountability. We call it loving accountability. And so if they attend their circle, then they're able to access the cafe the rest of the week. If they communicate with us and let us know that they will not be at circle, then they can also come to the cafe the rest of the week. But if they kind of no call, no show for their circle, then we're going to hold them accountable to that. And they have to wait until the next circle day, the next week to return. So we think accountability is pretty important for recovery, but these circles are great. Our staff has a circle. All of our circles are facilitated by peer recovery coaches. And in circle, because they're meeting with the same group of people each week, it's a really good opportunity to be known, to be loved, to realize that, hey, I'm not the only person navigating life and recovery by myself. So in circle, they will share their challenges, their growths that they've seen throughout the week, and then a goal that they want to meet by the next week. And their facilitators will hold them accountable by checking in with them weekly on those goals as well. And then they can also receive feedback from their peers, encouraging feedback. We really try and stay away from any like suggestions, this is what I would do, or I've been through this and this worked for me kind of thing. We just really want to encourage support and encouragement in those circles. So we love circles. These are just some pictures from our School for Recovery classes. Drum circles. We do stuff for different holidays, bringing in different volunteers to facilitate classes and things like that. So those are always fun. And then our social events as well. Different types of, we've done Mother's Day brunch, and, this weekend we're going to have a Thanksgiving dinner. So these are good events for those who may be early into sobriety, are reintroduced into a safe space where they can get used to being around a lot of people again in a sober setting. So these are always a lot of fun too. So this is just our schedule. We really like to maintain structure and consistency. We find that that's really beneficial. So right now we're open 4 days a week from 11 to 3. And again, we follow the same schedule throughout the week as well. We have a couple programs that are really nice. Our first one is our member leader program. The first step of doing this is becoming a member. The second step is becoming a cafe companion. So a cafe companion is essentially kind of like the host of the cafe. So they will recognize a new guest and show them around the building, maybe bring them in for a game or sit with them for lunch or something like that. They're also really good floaters. So if we need someone to help serve lunch that day or someone to help with our food pantry that day, we always find our cafe companions really helpful. The next step is moving them up to a member leader. And a member leader is essentially the same as a cafe companion, but member leaders get to obtain their own specific role in the cafe and really own it. And that really helps with accountability, purpose, all of those good things, confidence. And so being a member leader is a big deal. And then after member leader, we'll move them up to senior member leader. And with being a senior member leader, you may get the opportunity, if it's appropriate after staff discussion, you may get the opportunity to become a peer recovery coach. And we receive funding from the Indianapolis Colts, Kicking the Stigma. And that goes directly to getting our senior member leaders trained, tested, and then they can then work in our MENT program. And so it's really, really cool to see in person because all of our current peer recovery coaches were once new members of the cafe. Just going through that process and watching them grow through the recovery and getting to this point of now giving back to new members of the cafe, it's amazing. And so part of this funding is we can also give monthly stipends to those coaches as well for their meetings. So this is a really cool program. It's at no cost to the peer who is seeking coaches. So if anyone in Delaware County needs a peer recovery coach, let me know. And then our overall goals for the cafe, we really, again, with that peer support, we want to build positive relationships, provide long-term social support, and create a community of love and support. Just touching on that long-term support. So when someone becomes a member, they can be a member for as long as they please. If they become a member and maybe go MIA for a couple months and then they return, we're going to welcome them with open arms and encourage them to get back into our programming. So that long term is very important as well. If you didn't know, we have recently relocated. We relocated in August to Friends Church in the Old West End of Muncie. And so this is our new and current address and our hours of operation. And if anyone is open or wanting to come check out our new home, just shoot me an email and I'd love to give you a tour. And that is all I've got.
Thank you, Abby. Does
Yes.
anyone have any questions for Abby? How do you feel like engagement has been since you physically relocated?
We're growing. Before we had moved, and what prompted the conversation was at our old place. I mean, because we would see on average probably 30 to 40 people a day, and there was just standing room on some of those days, and so that's what prompted the conversation of we need a bigger space, and it's already growing from that, and we're seeing a lot of new people from this new neighborhood as well. So it's going really well. There's a lot of potential at this new building. I mean, we went from about 7,000 square feet to about 21,000 square feet. So there's a lot of potential here. Something else I forgot to mention is we do offer a food pantry and a clothing closet to the community. You don't have to be a member to attend those. So our food pantry is open on the first, second, and fourth Saturday of every month. And then the third Saturday will also have a pantry, but it's just not facilitated by us. It's facilitated by the church. And then every Friday from 11 to 1, we have our clothing closet open as well. So anyone is welcome to access those.
Is that information on your website by any chance, or?
I believe so.
Okay, all right. That'll be good to know. I feel like there's been so much good information shared. It's hard to kind of,
Yeah.
although again, this recording will be available on the website if anyone needs to go back and say, like, review it. And this is not Recovery Cafe Muncie related. But I heard there's been Hugh Jackman sightings up there in Muncie because his partner is teaching at Ball State. I just wondered if you
Oh,
seen him.
yeah. I think his girlfriend, or I think it's his girlfriend. I think she's a professor for like theater. I haven't seen him personally, so this could all just be pretend and like AI generated. No,
I saw a TikTok about it, and they were like, "Yeah, he's even been at the local Applebee's." I was like, "That's awesome."
yeah, I think he was down at the city building with the mayor and stuff. He's got to stop by here.
Yes, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
You'll have to do a social media post, maybe inviting him.
We'll shout him out. Yeah.
Get a hefty donation, possibly.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you, Abby, for presenting, and to all the presenters. Again, the presentations are in the chat if you would like to download those. I'm going to share the link again for the feedback survey. If everyone could please take time to fill that out, that would be great. I'm also going to share a link to our website that has all the member organizations that make up the network, as we're talking about different resources that are available throughout the state. And so we do now have a handy dandy map on there if y'all haven't visited the website recently. And so you'll see little dots for all the different member orgs. There's a drop-down list of organization type or services they provide. So it's a little bit more interactive and I think easier to navigate than just having the list that we previously had. If you don't see your organization on there and you're interested in joining the network, it is available at no cost. So just reach out to me directly. I'll put my info in the chat. And then while we have a few minutes left, does anyone want to do a plug for their organization? Feel free to unmute yourself or raise your hand, virtual hand. No pressure.
I will. Hi, everyone. This is Tamika Grady with United Healthcare. Hold on. Oh, I'm trying to open my camera here. Anyway, good afternoon and happy holidays to everybody. Great meeting. A lot of great information has been shared. I am actually the Recovery and Resiliency Market Lead with United Healthcare, and I am I'm sorry, I have a squirrel moment. Can you guys hear the TV in the back? My husband has a TV so loud. Okay, great. Okay, so then I can focus. All right, so anyway, I'm the Recovery and Resiliency Market Lead for United Healthcare. And what we do is we're across the state of Indiana promoting the peer support program. We're really looking to expand those recovery footprints in the community. We're promoting peer support. We want to collaborate in any organizations that may have a United Healthcare member. If they're wanting or willing to do a soft transfer, we're willing to work with that as well with the peer support program. And then we're offering free educational trainings across the state of Indiana, like mental health first aid, QPR. We're offering PEARLS, which is a problem-solving treatment. We're also going to be doing 8 dimensions of wellness. And we do Flight, which is for transitional youth that are coming out of foster care. And so those are just some of the trainings that we're offering at no cost across the state of Indiana. So if you all find that you're interested in any of those, or if you want to collaborate about maybe the peer support program, if there's anything that I can do, if there's any events that you have coming up and you need some help, volunteer work, I'm out in the community volunteering, advocacy, all of the above. And so, yeah, just kind of wanted to say hello, everyone. We're here as United Healthcare, and thank you all so much for what you are doing out in the community.
Thank you, Tamika, and it's good to see you. And it looks like we have a request for your contact information to be dropped in the chat. If you haven't done that yet, Tamika, please do so folks can connect with you. All right, Dominique, you're up.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Dominique. I just got married. Used to be Melendez, but now it's Petrovic. So unfortunately, I couldn't find a job as a peer recovery coach down here in Gary, Indiana, because we don't have the funding yet to get peer recovery coaches. But I'm out there in the community, community activist, getting stuff going, actually, and helping NAMI, Lake County right now. So NAMI is National Alliance for Mental Health. So I looked up the mental health piece in our area and found out that we had a Lake County. So I'm like, whoa. So I went in there and I'm actually helping next year. May 30th would be their first ever mental health walk. So we need help. We need vendors. I never did a walk, but they accepted it. So I'm like, okay. But so I'm helping NAMI, Alliance for Mental Health. We're doing peer-to-peer. And they do the CIT training with training with the police officers. And so I do come contact, and I'm grateful for this to be a plugged in, but I'm not in an organization. I'm interested in joining the network, but as I have all the certifications, and I help people throughout the state of Indiana do coalitions, different in recovery. So I'm just putting my name out there. My information's in there. You need help, resources. They call me the resource queen, so I love to connect with the people that do have the resources. and seeing what I could fill the gap for you guys, and you can help me as well. And just need your guys' help, maybe collaborate and get some more resources down this way, because recovery in mental health is happening finally out here. So I do need some help and maybe get things going. And how do you guys improve? So I would like to get some of that going as well.
Thank you, Dominique. And yes, some good things happening up in Gary, in that corner of the state, really all over the state. And it's all because of you all. So thank you so much for the work you do and for being here. Our next meeting is December 18th, same link, same time. If you would like to present at an upcoming meeting, please email me directly. My information's in the chat, or you can just contact us through the Recovery Network website. So thanks, everybody. Stay warm, and hope you have a nice, restful holiday if you celebrate, and all that good stuff. See ya.
Thank you.